It is April 19th, 2021, and this is the latest news from Medellin, Colombia, and Colombia as a whole. Follow along.
You're watching dcbornrob, erasing borders. And now, the news.
Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is you're located, and thanks for watching. It is April 19th, 2021. Again, this is the latest news for Medellin, Colombia, and Colombia, and a little bit about Cartagena for everybody who continues to ask about Cartagena. First, again, to throw out, if you are heading to Colombia, Medellin, or anywhere, you do need a negative PCR test result. I'll be taking mine tomorrow, which is going to be 96 hours before your trip. Remember, it has to be 96 hours from the time you take it to the time you leave. Also, even if you are vaccinated like me, I'm 2 shots in. Even if you are vaccinated like myself, you still need a negative PCR test to go. Okay, so let's just jump into the first few stories. I got quite a few, but I'm going to go fast. So let's just jump in. This story is from Viver and El Poblado. The title is Curfew Peak and Cedula and Prohibition Law will be enforced until April 30th. Really, which means I will be locked down from the moment that I land until that following Monday. I come in this Saturday, the 24th. Okay, it says in Antioquia, the restrictive measures that have been enforced until April 30th are maintained. We consider it necessary to have the accordion strategy, 4 days in, 3 days out, throughout the month of April, said the governor in charge, Luis Fernando Suarez. Therefore, the measures that will govern for the week of April 19th to the 26th are, number 1, night curfew, which will work as it was from last week, starting at 8 p.m. until 5 a.m. the next day. This will be valid between Monday and Wednesday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday rolls around at 8 o'clock, and you got to be in. The number 2, the peak and card measure will govern as follows: Monday 0 and 1, Tuesday 2 and 3 and 4, Wednesday 5 and 6 and 7, and Thursday 8 and 9. So it's not odd and even. So I don't know if they figured out there's some people trying to work around with the 2 and 3 ID deal, but they switched it up a little bit. Again, Monday 0 and 1, Tuesday 2, 3 and 4, Wednesday 5, 6 and 7, and Thursday 8 and 9. And that means it needs to correspond to the last digit of your ID. Number 3, prohibition at the same time as the curfew from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. the next day. There will be no liquor or beer. The continuous curfew will begin on Thursday, April 22nd at 8 p.m. and will end on April 26th, that Monday at 5 a.m. as it was done the past weekend. Okay, I mean, it is what it is. I will be up at 5 a.m., I guess, trying to record. I am looking to record the Poblado area so you can get your bearings before you get there, as well as the my favorite part of the city anyway, Laureles. So this one is entitled, well, that was my first one. This one is entitled Crisis in Antioquia. Deaths from COVID-19 are growing. There are no ICU beds, and doctors will have to decide who will receive in intensive care. The department is experiencing critical hours due to the pandemic, and patients are being transferred to other parts of the country. Okay, Antioquia experiences most difficult moments due to the third wave of the pandemic in the country. The department is in a very compromising hospital situation, so much so that this last report from the Ministry of Health that heads the deaths of COVID-19. There are no more beds for treatment of patients in the intensive care units, and therefore doctors will be faced with the task of deciding under certain criteria whom to attend to and whom to transfer to other sectors of the country. So it looks like if they can't fit you in, they're sending you somewhere else. The governor in charge, Luis Fernando Suarez, affirmed this Saturday through his social networks that the department will face a sad reality before entering the stage of the so-called ethical triangle. Okay, it says the triage is the term used in medicine to refer to the classifications of patients according to a previously established system for priorities, so they can begin giving the necessary and possible assistance. It is a noun derived from the French word trier, which means to choose separately or classify, just like triage and war. The doctor says, okay, bring me the patients. Okay, this one needs this, send them over here. This one needs that, send them over there. So there you go. Yeah, man, the next story now. This will be the curfew in the capitals this week. So more than just Medellin, other cities are locking up as well. This says it also applies to the measure of peak and card, pico y placa. Know the details of your city. Okay, capital cities, which are the hardest hit by the third peak of the pandemic, COVID-19, remain on high alert. It is for this reason, and after the confinement of the weekend, they will continue to apply a series of measures that have a purpose, argue the rulers, to prevent the active cases of the virus from continuing to increase and the hospital network from collapsing. Although the national government issued a series of restrictions on Monday until the governments issue new decrees, the following measures will remain in force. Okay, first up, Barranquilla. The capital of the Atlantic also returns to the night curfew. This will be every day between 6 p.m. and 5 a.m. Okay, this is Barranquilla. The Peak and ID will also be valid to enter shops and will work under the modality of even and odd numbers. So they're different from Medellin, okay, which had selected numbers. Monday, the 19th, 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. Tuesday, the 20th, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. And then it continues on every other day. Odd and even. So if the day of the week is an odd day, then your ID needs to match that. Okay, and if you got more than one ID, I ain't saying doing it. I'm just saying. Okay, Bogota. Bogota will have confinement again this Thursday, April 22nd, until 11:59 p.m. until Monday, April 26th at 4 a.m. Regarding the measures of the Peak and ID, it is enforced until this Monday, April 19th, but it will be studied to extend the restriction. Okay, Cali. In Cali, for now, only the Peak and ID is enforced to enter commercial establishments, banks, supermarkets, notaries, among others. This work under the modality of odd and even. Okay, so they're the odd and evens for the pico y placa. Okay, and in Medellin, you're very aware of that. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. And then Thursday at 8 p.m., lock it back up again until 5 a.m. Monday morning. Okay, Manizales, the capital of Caldas, meanwhile, will have a curfew for this week. However, there will be a peak and cedula. Okay, they're not going to have a curfew for this week, but they do have a peak and cedula, and it is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. So it is odd and even. And just so you know, 0 is even. Okay, Santa Marta. Santa Marta has a curfew between 6 p.m. and 5 a.m. every day. In addition, on Saturday and Sunday, there will be a total confinement. It also follows the peak and schedule as follows. Tuesday, the 20th is 9, 0, and 1, so it's a little different. Wednesday, the 21st, it is 2, 3, and 4. Thursday, the 22nd, is 5, 6, and 7. And Friday, the 23rd, will be 8, 9, and 0. Okay. If you are headed to Medellin, Colombia, make sure you stop by one of Sweet Georgia Cafe locations, or either both. One's in Laureles, one is in Poblado. Make sure you tell the owner, Rob, that DC Rob sent you there. As well as if you're in the Poblado neighborhood, make sure you stop by Brooklyn's restaurant and see Chef Jay. Also, if you need airport pickups or drop-offs, call my man Andres. His information will be below, and he's my guy for tours. Antioquia analyzes restrictive measures for Mother's Day and June holidays. The decision will depend on the epi curve for coronavirus infection. So they are contemplating locking it down for holidays in June. So expect it. It's just the way it's going. I mean, it's not even a holiday this weekend and they're locking it down because the numbers are high. So it ain't getting no better that soon. So just expect it. Due to the high contagions of coronavirus, the government of Antioquia analyzes the implementation of several severe restrictive measures for Mother's Day and the holiday bridges in June. For now, the decision will depend on the epi curve for the next few weeks. Since in recent days, the department has reported an average of 3,000 and up to 4,000 new infections each day. Okay, about 300 patients are on the waiting list to access an ICU in Medellin. So they are so behind. There's a waiting list like at a restaurant. The mayor's office clarified that so far, no person has been denied medical attention. I don't know what that means if you're waiting outside the door. Even with the installation of 1,300 beds and the compromise to activate 20 more in the next few hours, Medellin has a fluctuating population of at least 300 people who are waiting for a bed in the intensive care. 190 are inhabitants of Medellin. Mayor Daniel Quintero explains that there are patients who must wait between 24 and 36 hours to be placed in an available unit, but clarified that none of them have stopped receiving care while the special beds are vacated. Okay, slight decrease. Medellin reported 1,744 infected with COVID-19. Belén and Robledo are the most affected. And I just wanted to show you this because I can pull up this chart. It says the Secretary of Health, Andre Uribe Montoya, released the latest report for COVID-19 in the city with cut to April 17th. According to the figures, 1,744 new cases of coronavirus were registered, and one comuna has more than 500 active cases. Okay, so the worst is Belén. Number 2 is Robledo, Buenos Aires, Dolce de Octubre, Castilla, Aranjuez, Manrique, Villahermosa, San Javier, and 14 is El Poblado. Okay, video. Police attacked a BMX athlete with his helmet in Medellin. I saw this video and I'm going to show it. Just, I don't know. You can get why cops do some of the things they do, but they did it for whatever reason. It says the controversy generated a video released by the Bogota councilor Heidi Sanchez, where the moment in which a policeman uniformed hits a BMX athlete with his helmet can be seen. In the publication, the counselor assures that the incident occurred in the city of Medellin and identified the attacked young man as Jefferson Rincon, a BMX athlete who is preparing for an important competition. In Noticias Caracol, we are actually on Minuto 30 right now, but in Noticias Caracol, the young man explained his version of events. When I do a trick, I go back and look at the camera, but when I see the policeman, he hit me with his helmet. In addition to the assault, the young man was allegedly fined, despite the fact that he had not initiated the curfew, got stuck out on the curfew, and that the only offense he would have committed would be not wearing a mask. In the video, you can see that I show him, this is the guy talking, the guy who got hit. In the video, you can see that I show my fingers because at 8, the curfew begins, and at this time it was 6, said Jefferson, who added that he filed a legal complaint against the uniformed man. In this regard, the commander of the Medellin Metropolitan Police, Pablo Ruiz, said that the reason for the fine for the young man was for carrying out a maneuver near a motorcycle of the uniformed men. He was on a course, dude, and so they were police anyway. Okay. These are the restriction measures enforced in Bogota since this April 19th. Mayor Claudia Lopez will evaluate this Monday together with EPI committee new recommendations for the next few days in the city. Okay, this Monday, April 19th, the general quarantine that the Bogota mayor's office decreed for the weekend ended. Starting at 4 a.m., Bogota citizens have no restriction to move around the city for the next 4 days. The Peak and ID is the measure that is maintained in the city of the country as a restriction to contain the advance of COVID-19. Certificates ending in 13579 will not be able to access establishments where activities such as the acquisition of payment of goods and services are carried out, purchases of any product at a retail wholesale. This measure will be evaluated by the health authorities in the EPI committee that will be held by the mayor, Claudia Lopez, with the Ministry of Health and experts, okay? The president has stated last week will ask the EPI committee to raise the peak-in card during the active days of 4 by 3, and I think they're the opposite of Medellin as Antioquia. So they're 3 days in, 4 days out. But it states, like the past weekends, a general quarantine is being prepared which will begin at 11:59 Thursday, April 22nd, and will run until 4 a.m. on Monday, 26th of the same month. It should also be remembered that the peak and plate are reactivated, which will work from Monday, April 19th, with restrictions for cars with the last number of the odd plate at 6 a.m., at 8:30 a.m., and in the afternoon from 3:30 p.m. until 7:30 p.m. Okay, I thought this was a noticeable story because it makes my ID less valuable, meaning my vaccination card ID. This says that the FBI, this is according to Caracol Radio, FBI warns of the sale of fake vaccination cards online in the U.S. The warning comes as the country opened the possibility that all adults over 17 years of age nationwide can schedule their appointment. The FBI issued a warning about the sale of hundreds of fake COVID-19 vaccination cards on platforms like eBay. Really? One ad offered customers a genuine CDC immunization record card for $10.99. Another promised the same, but for $9.49. This, again, makes my ID less valuable. So I'm waiting for the passport. I know some of you don't like it, but I'm waiting for it because I'm a traveler. I'm just getting back from San Antonio yesterday, and I'm ready to go again. 2 weeks ago, we were in Key West and Miami, and I'm ready to go again. And I'm leaving this weekend, headed to Medellin. And next up has to be Guatemala. But anyway, one thing I wanted to point out here, it says to date, 50.4% of the American adult population has received at least one dose of the coronavirus vaccine, according to the CDC. So we're on our way. This is according to El Tiempo video in Cartagena. A party with more than 300 people was intervened. So Cartagena's, they're off the chain. For those who ask me what their curfew is, it does not list it anywhere. It did last week, a week ago when I updated that video. I would assume it's still the same, which was midnight until 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. in the morning on Friday and Saturday. And the rest of the week, it was 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Okay, so during the week, 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. And on the weekends, you can stay out until midnight. Okay, but this says, on Avenida del Bosque, the Metropolitan Police of Cartagena intervened last Saturday at night in an establishment where the clandestine party was taking place with more than 300 people. At the event, the attendees disrespected biosecurity measures without distancing or wearing masks. A lot of people were wearing masks. In Cartagena, there is no permit for this type of an event, and by decree, the curfew was declared. The National Institute of Health reported 11 deaths and 744 new infections from coronavirus over the weekend. However, the people of Cartagena continue to party. Yeah, buddy. In this place, the measure of a temporary suspension of economic activity for 10 days. So this place was slapped with a 10-day shutdown, and they were also sanctioned with a subpoena. During the past weekend, the police in Cartagena applied 217 subpoenas for not complying with the curfew measures and participating in massive events and crowds. Similarly, the police attended 58 fights on public roads and 24 cases of domestic violence. In addition, the police intervened and the quadrants closed more than 88 parties and crowds in the historic center, where there were also crowds of bars and streets. 6 minors were rescued who were exploited and subjected to begging. That's in Cartagena. Okay, this just reiterates 58 fights and 88 scandalous parties in during the weekend in Cartagena. So this is Cartagena. You want to know what's going on in Cartagena? It's still open again, as far as I know. It's still Friday and Saturday night. It is midnight until 5 a.m. and during the week, it is 10 p.m. until 5 a.m. That's the last data I have. Very difficult to find stories for Cartagena. They don't keep up with it. I have, 15 average news sources that I go through, and it's just, they're not showing it up to date. But this states, during the weekend, the Metropolitan Police of Cartagena forwarded operational actions to remind citizens about the importance of self-care measures to contain the spread of COVID-19. The institution applied 217 subpoenas for not complying with the curfew measures and participating in unauthorized mass events and crowds. Okay, during the weekend, the uniformed officers attended 58 fights on public roads and 24 cases of domestic violence, which you heard in the last story. So I'm going to leave it here because I don't want to go too long. Thank you guys for watching. If you're getting any benefit out of my videos, do me a favor, go down and hit the subscribe button Click the bell to hit like. And click the bell and hit like. Like helps the YouTube algorithm. The more you hit like, the more that YouTube says, Rob's all right. Hey, if you're in Medellin, I hope to see you in a week. It's probably only going to be a few hours I can get to see you, but I'll probably, instead of working from my Airbnb, I'll be working from Sweet Georgia Cafe or Brooklyn's, and I hope to be able to get up with Andres to get up to Comuna Ocho and film exactly where our charity money is going. Anyway, again, thanks for watching and be safe.
We have a YouTube channel, like it.
Please comment and share if you like the video. Please subscribe and kick the bell.